Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my 4-ounce off, and then I'm going to trim it to the edge, and then I'll cut my 6-ounce and lap that and lap it around underneath onto the bottom. I'm just going to trim this to the centre here, so I don't want to lap 2 layers, but I'm just going to run it to the centre of the middle of the rail. Alright, now I'm going to put a layer of 6-ounce, and this will be the one that will be lapped. So by keeping my thumb on here, I can make my lap wider, or I can make my lap narrower depending on what I'm after. I'm going to cut a couple of little cuts on either side, so one comes under like that and goes under like that, and we end up with a really strong nose join. Really important part of building good surfboards. We're at 28 degrees now, so what I need to do is resin's really designed to work at about 22, so I've got to cut down my percentage of resin because I'm at 28 degrees. Up on the front there, and I'm going to wet that little patch out and just push it back that way, make the nose really strong. So I need to put a bit of wax and styrene in it. This is the wax that makes it so you can sand it. Without wax in it, you can't sand. And they call it a hot coat because you can increase the amount of catalyst in it, so it goes off a little bit quicker. It just doesn't give you much time, you just got to be a bit quicker with your work. So I haven't got much resin, just split it. Try to work nice and clean. The cleaner you work, the next job's easier. Drill the hole down just a bit below that, and then resin that in. Just going to pull that whole piece out. And that's going to sit just in like that. And I'm going to put a bit of resin in there too. So what I do is I put a little bit of Q-cell in there that just makes it sort of thick and pasty, and it also adds a bit of grit. So when I put the plug in, it just bonds onto the board a little bit better. And then just pushing that down, just so I make sure I get a bit of resin coming out of all the sides. Push it down so it's nice and square. Poke down the middle, split your resin. If there's any bits of insects in there, just pick them out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hard disc on here, which is a real sort of thin, sort of non-flexible with 60 grit, and I'm going to take the leg rope plug and the fin plugs down, and any little bits and rough edges that might be sort of sitting around the side. I'm just going to take it down with that, and then I'm going to change it over onto the softer pad, and then the real soft pad to finish it off with. We go to 160 grit, we go to 60 grit, 120 and then 180. That's going to be the plan. So this one's a bit harder. This one is 120 grit. Not so dusty now. It's a real soft pad, so when you push it onto the rails, it really bends around the rails. Go down and wet and dry with 800 grit, and I'll fold it like that over 3, and then it grabs a hold of it. And also what I've got is I've got a milk bottle with a couple of holes poked in the top of it with some detergent in it, and then it's just a matter of So you've seen the whole process, and even though we've done it, quickly, well, 6.3 by 19 by 2.5, single in a double concave rounded square tail thruster.